Howdy folks, it's Mama B, and today we're going to do a demo of the American flag, how to crochet an American flag. Start by doing your chain of red. We're starting with one of the stripes, and because this is free form, I'm not really counting, I'm just doing it and estimate the length that I want. Now you can count it out and figure out what's right for you. We're going to say it's about that long because this is just going to be a little one that I can put on my door wreath. So now we're going to chain one and we're going to go back into each stitch, chaining one every time. Now if you're enlarging this and you're making a blanket, I recommend that you do the foundationless stitch, and you can find my videos. I'll put a link to them in the description and help you try and find it. So we're just going to crochet it all the way back, and we're just doing 2 for this row. You can do more if you want it to be thicker stripes, but for the size of mine, where it's only going to be this long, I only want the stripes that wide. So it's just a single crochet all the way back. So I did my final stitch, and then I'm going to take my white, or I kind of like using the cream color. It gives it kind of an old-fashioned effect, and I really like it. I'm just going to do a slip knot. I've still got the red stripe on my hook. I'm going to do a slip. Whoa, having a day, guys. Slip knot, and we're just going to pull that through and cinch it down. I like to work that so that the slip knot is actually on the outside, opposite side of my loop. That way it holds it nice and secure, and then I do a single crochet. And then I just single crochet all the way back again. And I'll be tucking in my ends later, and sometimes you might want to have an extra end, like leave it long so you can tie it. I probably should have done that where I want it for my door wreath, but it doesn't matter, not too much here. So there's ways we can work around it. But it's just a single crochet all the way back. The American flag is mostly single crochet. In fact, I don't think that it's anything but. The trick is getting the field of stars in there, and I have a few ideas that I can help you with on that. As you can see, because I want the red stripe and the white stripe to be the same thickness, I will be doing 2 rows of white crochet, single crochets, and then alternate it between the white and the red. Okay, so I've come to the end of the row, and I'm going to do my last stitch and then 1 chain. Now you want this edge to be straight, right? Because it's perfectly straight on the American flag. So what you'll do is, you've done your chain, go into that first stitch. Now that will push it out. But then when you come back to do your last one, you'll skip, and I'll show you how to do that. But you make sure you don't skip any stitches. The 1 chain to do your side for the length of your next row, and then hit every single stitch all the way back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of this row, and I was going to show you how to keep your edges straight. So you'll crochet into, and instead of going into this one, you'll skip to that end stitch and go into that one. There we go. Alright, so we skip this one, go into that last one, and that will have a tendency to pull in. Then when we do a stitch and hit every single one of them coming back, that will push that last stitch out, and that push and pull will give it a straight edge. So again, because this is my second row for the red, I'm just going to crochet every stitch all the way back, and just keep alternating out the reds with the whites. Okay, so here we have the American flag, and there's a couple of things I want to show you. One, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes of the long length. So on my American flag, I'm going to do 6 stripes and end with the cream color or the white, right? And then for the field of blue, we have, look at that, it's approximately half of the flag is that field of blue. So when we get to here, I'm going to show you how to do it, but we're going to stop halfway and continue to build up this area, and then we'll come in and fill in with the field of stars. So that's the structure of our flag, and that's where we're going, what we're aiming for. Okay, so here I've done my 6 stripes, 3 red and 3 white, and now I'm going to, I've started my 7th one, and I got to about the middle. If you see that, it folds in half, and that's where I want my field of blue to start. So I'm going to finish that stitch, chain, and turn. And now I just have to finish the 7 rows of stripes the rest of the way up, and it'll only be half as long. So this shouldn't take too much longer than the first part of it did, because it's half the length. Another thing I want to show you is as I come to this end, and I've been alternating the threads a little bit. I want to show you what it looks like so you'll know for yourself if you want to tie it off. I choose not to because I like how it looks. So coming to the end row, that last one can be a little bit of a stickler sometimes. Alright, let's remember I don't want to pull it through. Okay, pull up the white, pull it through for that last final stitch. And you can see on this end that it kind of does a little rope twist as it changes up. I don't mind that look, so I'm going to leave it like that. If you don't like it and you want it to like be very crisp on that end, you can cut it and tie it and tuck your ends. It's entirely up to you. So then I'm going to change my colors out and keep on going all the way up to the top. Alright, so I'm finishing up this last row, and we'll have 13 stripes, and then we just need to do that field of blue. So finish it off, give it a good slip, and one more, and then you can cut that however long or short you want to. Oop, well, that's a little bit old thread, so guess what? It cut itself. This is what we're looking at, and then we're going to add the field of blue. I honestly think that based on the length of this double stitches, that this is going to be kind of a long field of blue. So I recommend you do it a little longer than what I did here. But it still is the same idea. You get how to do that part. You make it kind of like a booty or a stocking type of a thing, right? And then this is my new little favorite trick that I've learned. This is the blue thread with a silver metallic. And the nice thing about that is it's going to place my stars for me. It's going to make it look really good. So I just start it with a slip knot. And then I'm going to work my end in as I go. And I just start at that first little stitch. And then we're just going to go from there. My stitch, my chain stitch, and then every stitch all the way back. And I'm going to show you how to connect it to the side, because you're going to want to connect it here as you go. Okay, so I got one more stitch to do there. Pull it through, do my single crochet, and then what I want to do is go to the red and do a slip stitch to connect it, and that'll pull it in nice and tight. And then I'm going to do a chain and another slip stitch, and then turn my work and go back. Oof, lost that loop. Sometimes when you do it nice and tight like this, it's really hard. So we're doing that slip stitch again because I lost it. And sometimes when you do it nice and tight, it's hard to keep those stitches when you lose your hook. I'm just going to do that all the way up to the top of this flag. So I'm coming to my last row of the field of blue. Now, as we discussed earlier, you may not want it to be that shape because it's a little bit short flagged. I think I should have done it like that much more. So the way you can avoid this mistake is measure your 2 rows so that you know the width of your stripes, times it by 13, and then you can know the height of it and know how long you'll want to make it in relation to that, right? So, but for this, for the purpose that I'm doing this for, this is going to be okay, so I'm just going to leave it. But like I said, avoid my mistakes, learn from them, and there we have it. I'll tie that off, snip it, and let it hang and wave on my little door wreath. So I hope this helps you. I hope it inspires you, gives you some ideas of how to do this. And you can make this bigger if you're doing it for a blanket, or you can do it for pretty much however you want. I'll tie this off and cut it and tuck the end in there and tie this off, and that's basically it. If you don't have the sparkly blue, you can tie knots to represent the stars, or you can crochet out the stars if you're doing it for a larger blanket and crochet around them. But that's my little bit of inspiration for you for today. You can also compare it to a previous video I've made. It's the same thing, a little more bird sound. So hopefully this clears up any kind of confusion that you got from too many bird sounds. And thank you for watching our videos. Have a fantastic day.